Hello, I'm Greg Sadler, and I have a request for you. I'm looking for input and suggestions about who it is that we ought to add to the list of authors and series for the worlds of speculative fiction in 2024. Now, if you don't know about the series, it's been going on since 2016, generally monthly, and we have produced over 70 different installations of this. And what I do is I take an author, a book series, could be novels, could be short stories where there's a common narrative universe, and we talk about some interesting philosophical themes. I do a video. You can see the playlist for that. And each year, I have a number of authors already in mind, who I'll tell you about in just a bit. But I also try to get some input from viewers, fans, subscribers, anybody who's interested in these sorts of matters. Speculative fiction very broadly includes fantasy, horror, sci-fi, alternate history, utopian and dystopian literature, even superhero stuff. We are primarily interested in books, so we're not talking about film or TV or manga or whatever else. We're looking for writings. And I want you to give me your suggestions. Remember, it's got to be a series, so not just usually a single book, unless it's a really, really long book, that has a rich world that we can explore and has some philosophical interest or depth to it. So before you give your suggestions, you do want to click the Show More or video description so you can see all the different ones that we've done already. I'll put those in the video description. And you want to pay attention to the ones I'm about to tell you that we're going to cover in 2024 because, I'm sure you get excited about that, but we've already got plans to do these 9. So we're going to begin the year by doing some more of Stephen Erikson's Malazan stories. We're going to focus on his 3rd and 4th book in that long series, Memories of Ice, House of Chains. Then in February, I'm going to be looking at 2 books by James Kennedy, who's written Dare to Know and most recently Bride of the Tornado. I actually asked him, are these set in a shared universe? And he said, yes, they are, so we're going to do those. Then we have Jim Butcher's Dresden Files, another long series. We're just going to do the first 3 books, Stormfront, Full Moon, and Grave Peril. In April, Chelsea Quinn Yarborough, the Saint Germain cycle. So we're getting into some horror stuff with Hotel Transylvania, The Palace, and Blood Games. In May, we're going to look at some books that I read as a kid, and they were part of what drew me into the entire Dragon Riders of Pern. Anne McCaffrey, if you're familiar with her, she has this series, Dragon Son, Dragon Singer, and Dragon Drums, which are young adult, but I think could be quite good. So we're going to look at those. And then we're going to get much more ambitious in June with Jeff Vandermeer, his Southern Reach trilogy, Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance. And then we're going to go way back to some early stuff from the 70s. Michael Moorcock, Elric of Melnibone series, starting with that very novel, and then Sailor on the Seas of Fate and The Weird of the White Wolf. Another one that's been suggested to me, Tad Williams' Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy. We'll be looking at next the Dragonbone Chair, Stone of Farewell to Green Angel Tower. And then in September, we're going to go back to Terry Pratchett's Discworld, and we're going to be looking at the novels that center on the character Death. Now, that takes us up to September. That means that there's 3 slots open, October, November, December. That's why I want your suggestions. So if you would, if you're cool with that, put down one suggestion. I want just one per person, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at which of them get the most thumbs up, and if there's duplicates of them. So, if there's many people asking for author X, that will go into the hopper, and the top 6 are going to go on to a vote that we'll do later on in this year, and I'll pick the top 3 in that vote to go into Worlds of Speculative Fiction for the coming year in the October, November, and December slots. There's a lot of really great authors that I have come across that way, suggestions made by all of you out there in, out there in the ether, participating virtually. Stephen Erickson, prime example of that, R. Scott Bakker, all sorts of great fantasy worlds, sci-fi worlds. Dan Simmons' Hyperion, Cantos are another great example. So we've done a lot of things. Take a look, see who we've already done. Think about who you would love to see me cover this coming year. Put it as a comment in the YouTube video. And within, a few weeks, I'm going to tally all of them up, and we're going to have a deciding vote. So thanks in advance for participating in this. And, hopefully this will lead to some really great suggestions coming from all of you.